Hey, so I'm Sam,
Lauren.
and we just finished watching the documentary Dear Zachary. So,
Wholly emotional.
it was like one of those things, it was kind of like a roller coaster, you went up, BAM! Spiral down.
Except instead of, awesome, it was like, bam, we're gonna crush your heart into thousands of pieces.
Yeah,
So
really heartbroken. So, essentially the movie, short summary, this doctor, Andrew Bagby, or he was a doctor, obviously, went to school in Newfoundland, and met this woman who was 40 years old, and I think he was 28 at the time.
He was 28, she was, 42 or something?
And met this woman, her name is Shirley Turner. They had a thing, off and on, seeing each other. And, when he finished medical school, he moved back to the States and
broke it off.
And she was crazy. Called him 38 times, left voicemails, and just went nuts. What the fuck?
And he told her that they didn't have anything long term. It was over, which is also what she told the police, which is such a fucking lie.
And so after he, completely broke it off with her, sent her back on a flight to Iowa, which is where she was living, 16 hours later, she came back knocking on his door.
She drove 16 hours straight.
And told the police she was home in bed sick while she was driving there. And yet they tracked her cell phone to calling him while basically on the road.
Oh, and of course, the reason she had to tell the cops anything is because Andrew Bagby was killed.
Yeah.
He was shot 5 times in the head, the chest, and somewhere in the lower region. And because they were supposed to meet up, she was the main suspect.
So, basically, after the police started getting involved, she fled back to Newfoundland, where it was later learned that she was pregnant, and it was supposedly Andrew's child. So, naturally, his parents were just well, we need to move to Newfoundland. We need to be there when that baby's born, and we need to do our best to try and take care of this baby and to try and get custody of him. To try and do what's right for him.
This woman. No.
She was, a nutcase. She had, 8 restraining orders against her from different men. Tried to kill herself on her ex-boyfriend's doorstep and then threatened to kill him. Yeah. There's something mentally ill with this woman, and nobody saw that. Except for his parents. His parents knew there was something wrong.
All the friends knew, too. They said something wasn't right with her. But...
And, what completely boggles my mind about this movie is, the fact that this woman got away with murder, and the Canadian judicial system did fuck all. Fuck all. They let this woman raise a baby.
They kept pushing trial dates back and
2 years.
Back and back.
The trial over 2 years long for trial against the murder of Andrew Bagby. Normally I'm a pretty emotional person. I cry pretty easy most of the time.
Me too.
But I never get heartbroken over movies. It's always oh yeah, that sucks, and I wouldn't want to be in that situation. But this movie just tore my heart out. It's it took my heart, fucking ripped it out of my chest, stomped on it, and did the Mexican hat dance.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was just fuck you, I'm breaking your heart. And it's just I have so much emotions from this. Anyway, so this nutbag of a woman basically says to his parents, how would you feel if me and Zachary disappeared?
Zachary's the baby.
They're what do you mean, disappeared? She's disappeared for a few days. Whatever. Oh, also to mention, if you haven't seen this documentary,
you might want to stop watching.
You might want to stop watching this because
spoiler alert.
Big spoiler alert. It won't ruin the emotional roller-coaster you'd experience because the movie does 10 times better at making it than we will. But this is just kind of suggested. We don't want to be the cause of. Well, fuck these bitches. They just ruined that movie for me.
Because no, no. Nothing we say could ruin it. Trust me.
So, anyway, I guess after this woman said this to the grandparents, they went missing. Shirley and Zachary. And everybody was like, oh, they'll turn up, it'll be okay. Yeah, they turned up on the shore of the fucking Atlantic Ocean. This woman had the audacity to take her child, tie him around her waist with a sweater, drug him and herself, and plunge themselves into the Atlantic Ocean. A helpless 1-year-old, helpless, couldn't do anything for himself. And then not to mention, she wrote a letter trying to frame this guy that she had just met in Newfoundland, who basically told her he wanted nothing to do with her because he found out about her murder charges.
She's a despicable human being.
And what boggles my mind the most about this whole is, it boggles my mind that she killed this baby, that she killed this man, that she got away with it. But the Canadian judicial system did nothing.
They failed huge. I don't
pay attention to politics, very much.
Yeah.
I don't. But that just made me realize how much our government only cares about making money and not about other people. Because, as long as the lawyers are making money, the government's making money. So as long as they drag a trial on, the government still makes money.
I took a Canadian law course at university, and, I know they failed. Huge.
You are supposed to have the right to a speedy trial. How the fuck is 2 years speedy?
Not only that, but the fucking child welfare people.
They failed that child. That child should be alive right now. That child should have watched this documentary on his father.
Yeah.
That child has got nothing. He got a year with his grandparents. He got a year to meet his Uncle Kurt. That's all that child got. He didn't get anything else. He had a mother who fucking killed him.
Huh.
And I just don't understand how this woman could have even sat there calling herself a fit mother.
How they could have had the audacity to say that she wasn't a risk to society because she killed the person that she was angry at and she wasn't going to do it again. It's ridiculous. That's not how our system's supposed to work. She wasn't going
to do it again, yet she had tried to do it previously to another boyfriend. Yeah. It just doesn't add up.
Regardless of whether she had, if you kill somebody, if you
should
kill
not be allowed
somebody,
to
then there's
free.
something wrong with you. When somebody breaks up with you, you don't kill them. That's not how healthy people react.
That would be me, sitting there and just going and killing everybody that I ever dated. No.
No, that's not healthy.
No, you deal with things healthy, civilly.
Yeah.
Don't kill people. Who does that? Who?
And this is us making light of the situation, but, really.
That movie, tore my heart out. Tore my heart. I don't think I am ever going to be the same after watching this movie. And knowing that the Canadian judicial system failed that child breaks my heart. Because that child deserved a life. That child did not deserve to die at 1 year old.
It really sucks being a Canadian and loving your country and then knowing that they let shit like this happen.
And especially, I realize, these people were American. It's harder to get an American trial to happen in Canada, but still.
Doesn't matter.
You should have sent her back to Pennsylvania or wherever the crime took place and let the Americans deal with it. Don't take matters into your own hands. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. And for this lawyer that this bitch fucking hired was Justice Welsh.
Justice Welsh. Fuck that bitch.
She sat there and defended this woman, saying, oh yeah, she fucking killed Andrew, but she's not going to kill anybody else. She's not a danger to society.
And this woman's psychologist posted her fucking bail for her. Thankfully, he is no longer a psychiatrist.
And thankfully, the person in child services that was dealing with this case stepped down from her position after all this.
They should have both been fired without severance. Fuck them both.
Justice Welsh should have been hung.
Yeah.
Death sentence, man. I swear they need to bring that shit to Canada. I know it's starting to fade away in the States, but still.
It shouldn't.
It's it's a controversial topic, but I'm all for the death sentence. I mean, you kill somebody, you deserve to die. I don't care.
It's so funny. I wrote an essay in grade school about the death penalty, and I was so against it a couple years later.
Yeah.
It was like grade 6 I wrote it, I think.
Oh, when we hated each other.
But yeah.
No, that was
amazing how life makes you change your opinions, and then things like this make you fully advocate it.
It's like, if any of you viewers that are watching this, you know, like, agree with what we're saying about how the judicial system completely just failed this family, do something. I don't know if they've changed any of the laws. I don't know.
I don't know.
You know, it's been quite a few years since this case has happened.
2006.
But, like, you know, write to the government. Give them your opinion on the case and on what happened.